let's talk about stress. Okay, what if I tell you sometimes God sends you stress for a reason? You believe it? You can go with that? Why? Who want to be stressed out? How you gonna? I said God sends stress your way. Y'all talking about what?
Well, how can you learn to deal with it if you don't have it in your life sometimes?
Well, what is stress?
Uncomfortable.
Something that's uncomfortable?
Increased anxiety.
Increased anxiety, yeah, nurse, it is. It's nurse do both, it is. What else? Is everybody stressed the same?
No.
Okay, well tell me what stress you out.
Everything.
I get stressed every month. When you start getting a little piece of paper in the bag, wait a minute, Alabama Power, I just paid y'all. Are y'all a monthly bill or every 3-week bill? I was like, I just paid. Then they, some of y'all don't get them notices I get in the mail. Final. Get ready. Paid back.
Yeah.
All right, so they send it in red. I guess they send it to get your attention.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know, but anyway, y'all may not be like me. Y'all may not have to do that. That's I don't go to the mailbox every day. Cause I go with a spirit of expectancy.
Yeah.
That's why I don't go every day. Cause sometimes when I go to the mailbox, I don't want to pick up a bill. Sometimes I want to pick up a blessing. And every now and then it happens. Because I go with a spirit of expectancy. What you expect, that's what you're going to get. So, we all deal with stress. Some people say, okay, you're stressed about bills. What else can we be stressed about?
Children.
Ooh, Lord, jobs.
Career.
Children.
Your family.
Children, family. What somebody else said?
Career.
Career.
Job.
Yeah. Job, career, that's fine. Yeah. What else? What else stress you out?
Your significant other.
Yeah, Lord.
That ain't even no really. Well, I guess they can stress you out. Your significant other can stress you out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Like they don't stress us out.
Well, hold on. You might be the person that stressed the other out.
There you go. There you go.
You right.
It goes both ways. I ain't gonna put that up there. To me, that's kind of minute. I mean, that's just.
Put on. Don't
Listen, don't start on my deep. Don't start on my deep.
I'm good.
What else?
I'm good.
Children, family, what else stress you out? Bills.
You can be stressed out about your health.
Yeah. You be stressed out about health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that every day. I mean, folks go to the doctor for a checkup and then, or just go, let's say they head hurt. Well, this happened to one of our chaplains. He wasn't looking right, and he just wasn't looking right. He looked like he had a stroke or something. So we took him down to the ER. They did a scan. He had a tumor on his brain.
Oh, wow.
And it was cancer. And if he wouldn't have been at the hospital, he probably would have died. And that just, he has not recovered from that. because he wants to be a chaplain, but he just can't do it. So yeah, your health, but not y'all put you got bills, you got children, you got job, family, but out of these four, what's the most important?
3.
My health more important than you. Don't you worry about your children. Don't worry about me. On the team of me. As Mark Lawrence said, what the movie was? John, what it was? Roscoe.
But if you're not healthy, you can't take care of
Right,
yourself.
Exactly. You can't go to work.
That's why I said that's no. Your health is important. All right. So the reason that I want to put these up is because what's some other things that I think health is number one, really. To be honest, but in this list, if health is most important, all this other stuff really don't matter, right? Right?
Yeah.
It matters, but not as much important as this, right?
Right.
Your health is that should be number one. So, but do you realize stress and this are related?
Yeah.
That the more you do this,
The worse that gonna get. Yeah.
That's true.
the worse that's gonna get. So how do we deal with stress? How do we deal with stress? What do you do? We get Jack Daniel?
I remember days they used to help.
What you say here, Jack? Sorry?
I remember days they used to help. It don't help now.
But do it really help?
They used to cover it.
So how do you deal with stress? How do you deal with it then? If you can't find it in the bottle, you can't find it in a weed, or what they smoking? You children smoking this spice?
No.
I don't understand that. Mike just don't smoke. Why everybody smoke the real stuff? No more. Mojo. Yeah, smoke the herb. God made it.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
God made that.
Yes,
God
sir.
made it.
Yes, sir.
That came from the tree.
And he said everything he made was good.
And he said it's good for the and he said it's good for the healing of the nation. That's the word of God. I'm not an opponent for legalized marijuana. Take that off. Don't. But I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm not gonna smoke no weed. But
Them years of
say. So we have these things that doctors give us stuff for stress, Prozac, and Zoloft, and Wellbutrin, and all that. And so,
but
yeah, go ahead.
But ain't stress coming from a problem somewhere? And when you get them Prozac and all that, it don't handle the problem. It just mass cover it when they give them all this medicine.
If I go to the doctor and say I can't sleep because I'm stressed out, he's gonna give me something. Which he did. I can't take it no more, baby. I'm like a zombie law. See, I'm gonna take it.
Okay, you say you can't sleep, but it still got to be a reason why.
There's a reason why you can't. Yeah, it is. I'm glad you said that. So what is the underlying problem?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
When you stressed out, because bills and children and all the other stuff can stress you out, but what is the underlying problem why you stressed? And we're going to get to the scripture in a minute, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to talk about. It's going to make sense of it. What's the underlying stress factor?
You can't come up with a problem to the solution.
That you can't come up with an answer to the solution.
Right, you can't come up with a solution to the problem.
So what if I told you it's all right not to have an answer for every problem that you have? Huh? No, you won't. And I think, and that's why I'm bringing this to you tonight, because let me just say it like this: bad things happen to good people.
Yeah.
Life
Yeah.
happens to all of us. I think it's. I was having a discussion with one of my patients today, and she was like, I just don't, I was a vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian since I was 18 years old, and and I ate right, and I used to run the marathon, and she weighed maybe 125 pounds. Don't eat meat. All right, but she's saying, now I made all the right choices not to get a disease, and I got an incurable disease. I got issues with God with that. And I said, okay. She said, I got issues with God with that. She said, God, and I made right choices. So why do I have this disease? And guess what the answer is? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why some people get some stuff and other people don't get. I don't know why. Now, here's the thing. This is what we gotta stop doing as the church and quit pacifying stuff. This is what we'll say, well, God don't make no mistake. Wait a minute now. Because see, if you ain't got what I got, you can't say that. Because you don't know how I feel. Because to me, if I'm going through this, it is a mistake in my mind because I don't want this. I really want to give it to somebody else. And so for you to come in with your religious lingo and your religiosity to tell a person that has something that they have, I think it's different when people go out and deliberately do stuff. I mean, there are consequences to people that use drugs and shoot up needles and all that kind of stuff, they get a disease. But a person that tried to do right and they still get something, I think they have a valid point of, first of all, being upset with God. Now, let me say this. Some of y'all say you don't supposed to get mad with that God. A lie? You don't supposed to get mad with God? Okay, let me tell you when I got mad with God. This is what I didn't understand about God. Because, all our lives we've been taught, whatever happened, God allowed it. And so when 911 happened, I got pissed off. I said, now God, wait a minute. Them innocent folk on the plane, and you allowed this to happen. And then all them folk, there was some Muslims, there were all kind of different religions on the plane. All of them prayed. All of them was praying to whoever. Now the question is that we ask theologically in seminary is, who prayer did God hear? Did he hear the Jehovah's Witness? Did he hear the... That's for another discussion. Y'all looking crazy. But what I'm saying is, some things happen that we cannot control. And what I'm trying to get us to understand is that we have to get to a point in our lives when things happen to us that we cannot control, is to understand that, okay, whatever this is or whatever I'm going through, I can't control it. I got to let God handle it. Now, in letting God handle it, it does not mean, because I believe that God has strategically given doctors the know-how to do whatever they need to do. And so if you say, okay, I got something, I'm going to let God handle it, that don't mean you quit taking your medicine. That means that along with the medicine, you increase your faith in God. And say, I'm taking this medicine because the doctor prescribed it, but I'm believing that God will heal. And so the stress of the matter is when other people put all these other stress stuff, children, jobs, all this kind of stuff, when they really don't know what you're really dealing with. Do you realize that there are people that wrestle with their mind every day? And we right here talking about our husband stressed us out, or our boyfriend or our baby daddy stressed us out, and folk are wrestling with their mind. And what I'm trying to get us to think tonight is the stuff that we think we stress, or the stuff that we think is stress really ain't stress. It's just that you don't like what's going on. And a lot of stuff that we stress about, we can change. Yeah. Let me help. Yeah. I'm going somewhere. I'm coming down your road. Because see, the only way that Carol can stress me out if it is, or the only way that I can stress her out is if she allows me to. A lot of men get accused of being nonchalant about a whole lot of things. It ain't that we nonchalant about a whole lot of things. It's just that, we understand you're going to think what you want to think, you're going to say what you want to say anyway. Why we going to just hush your mouth? Just be quiet, get your medicine, and say yes, ma'am. Because whatever you say ain't going to be right. No way. So you just, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, you ain't got nothing to say? Can I talk now? You told me to be quiet. I mean, can I talk now? All right? So, let's deal with this. Let's look at Hagar. Let's look at Hagar. And I'm going to give you 3 points, and then, because I'm dealing with some folk. I'm dealing with a whole lot of folk. I deal with a whole lot of folk anyway. But it really made me think when she asked me, when the lady said, listen, I done did everything right. I ain't eat no pork, I ain't eat no beef. I'm saying, well, I'm asking God what she do. I mean, she was vegetarian. I mean, she ate right, she exercised, but then the doctor said, Jeff, the flip side of that is, all of us have cancer cells in our body. And it just depends on when it want to germinate. He said, that's just a proven fact. That's a scientific fact. Now, why some grow and others don't, we don't know. It just is what it is. I said, well, that ain't fair. I said, no, it's not fair. All right? So, let's look at Hagar. You got Hagar? Hagar 1? Did you use table context to find it like I did? Did you do that? Let's pray for the whole Bible. Okay, because that's not a book that we normally go to. So it's kind of hidden. And unless you have tabs on your Bible, you probably can find it. So Hagar 1, verse, let's read 1 through 4. Somebody read it for me.
In the 2nd year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, in the 1st day of the month, came the word of the Lord by Hagar the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua the son of Josedek, the high priest, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, This people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. Then came the word of the Lord by Hagar the prophet, saying, It is time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste. Okay. Here's point number 1 I want to make, but it kind of goes on to point number 2. We're gonna read verse 5, Barbara. Now therefore, thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways.
Oh. So, number 1, I want to tell you that sometimes God uses stress to help us redefine or rediscover our priorities.
Repeat that.
God uses stress sometimes to help us redefine or rediscover our priorities. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Everybody got priorities. But sometimes we don't choose the right ones that need redefining. Everybody need refueling. You get tired. Burnout. That's the thing. You get burned out. You get burned out, and you have to consider what you're doing. As Hagar just said, consider your ways. Are you just doing this out of habit, Or are you really doing this because you love me? Because here's the thing. I'm tired of begging folk to come to Bible study.
Yep.
I'm tired of begging folk to come to Sunday school. I'm tired of begging folk to time. Consider your way. Because if you say you got a relationship with God and he good and he'd have been better to you than you can be to yourself and you love him so much and he's so awesome, then you need to consider how you offer what you offer to him. Because let's be honest, I keep telling you, our car notes, our mortgages, our rent, all this kind of stuff, our car insurances are way more than our tithe. Y'all let me know when y'all ready to talk about that. Am I right?
You're right.
So where are our priorities? Do we need to redefine or rediscover our priorities? Where do our priorities lay? Here's the thing. One thing that and both of my sons are going to be athletic, and I have no problem with that. But the reservation that I have about signing them up for any sport, especially baseball or something like that, I got a problem with them taking my children away from church.
Yeah.
Because Deke, you know that was a time that NFL did not play on Sunday.
Right.
Yeah. NFL just started playing on Sunday in the last 7 to 10 years. Because America said, we ain't going to no game on Sunday, we going to church. Now?
Money got it.
Oh, Lord. And so, no, I don't want to put my children in anything that's going to take them away from God. Wednesday and Sunday, they need to be getting some biblical instruction. Not that we don't do it at home, but they all need redefining. They all need, what's the word I'm looking for? Re-something. I can't think right now. So, sometimes God uses stress to help us refine. In other words, some stuff is happening in your life to you now, not because of somebody else, but maybe it's because of you that you need to look at your relationship. You've been concentrating on this man and this woman. And God is saying, what about me? Oh, y'all. Consider your way. What about me? You don't need to tell me you love me no more. You get up in the morning, brush your teeth, don't say nothing to God. But if your significant other don't open their mouth, they acting funny. They got an attitude. But God say, I don't never have no attitude because I wake you up every day. And I give you new mercies every day. So I'm not an attitudinal God. So what we got to do, we got to rediscover our priorities and understand that some stress comes in our lives because we serve, watch this, a jealous God. And he said, now you ain't going to put no other God before me. You ain't going to do it. And so before you put another God before me, what I'll do, I will take away that God that you have and replace it with the God. I'm God. I'm God. It's me. All right? And so I think sometimes we get into the habit of we build relationships with people. We build relationships with our family. We build relationships with our co-workers. We build relationships with our friends. And we negate the best relationship we can ever have, and that's with God. And so God says, what we got to do, you got to consider what you're doing. Because here's the thing. If you only come here simply because you got a position or you just ain't got nothing else to do, if you don't come here out of relationship, you need to check why you coming. Rediscover what you're doing. Any questions? Am I going too deep? Am I in your business? Am I in your backyard?
Yeah.
All right, let's go a little deeper. If you read, you start at verse 5, Barbara. If you read, you read verse 5 that says, consider your ways, right? All right, then verse 6 says what?
Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Wait. So God is saying, listen, I done gave you a job.
Yeah.
You don't appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's in the scripture.
Yeah.
You got a job and you don't appreciate what you got. He said, I gave you food, I gave you some crab legs, and you want to stay. I ain't writing. It's in the, ain't y'all reading it? Y'all reading it, right?
Yeah.
We got to understand that sometimes God uses stress to help us redefine and rediscover our priorities. Now, here's the thing about it. Sometimes I believe we abandon God. I believe we abandon our God-given priorities. And we set ourselves up to learn a hard lesson. Because God has given us specific instructions and what to do, and instead of doing all that, just like Winston, I mean, you know, it's okay. I mean, listen, today I ain't feel like coming today. I mean, I really did. I started saying, well, you know, I need to call somebody, get somebody else to teach. We're gonna be out next week anyway. So, and I was kind of abandoned. I was about to abandon my part until I looked at this coming down the road before I left. All right, so I think we learn a hard lesson when we abandon our God-given talents. And then what he says was, now, at the first part of it, he said, now, you doing what the Israelites did. Lived in panel houses. You lived in panel houses while God's house went ruined. Who should have the best house, you or God? Y'all saying it? But I done been to some of y'all house. Some of y'all houses plush, baby. I'm talking about y'all. Plush! I'm talking about China. God ain't got no, what God trying to eat? We eat off paper plates when we eat. Go away. But you got China. Okay, I ain't even finna deal with it. I ain't finna deal with it. Go read verse, what verse you stopping on, bro? I'm sorry, I think I stopped you in the middle of one verse. Okay, middle 6, go ahead, read the rest of 6.
And he that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes.
Wait a minute. God said, I done gave you a job, and because you don't appreciate what I gave you, you making money, but you ain't never coming up. You know why? Because you robbing me. Let me sit down and bless the Lord. I don't never have no money. Every time I get paid, I'm broke. I know why. At the end of the year, this is what me and my wife do. At the end of the year, because we pay what we want to make, at the end of the year, if I get an income tax, I have already paid my tithe on my gross. All right? Whatever my salary is, let's say it's $60,000. Okay, I done paid $6,000 for the year. All right. But do you know this? I'm going to tell you how faithful God is. This is how I know this God. That's how I know I'm going. Whatever, watch this. And it has been happening since we got serious about tithing, which has been the last 8 to 10 years. It has, every time I get a refund, Charles Jr., it is always 10% of my annual income. If it's not, it may be a few $100s below, but it's always either at or above. What does that tell me? That tells me that God is honoring my faith. Watch this. This year, I had a little bump in the road. I thought I was going to get audited and had to turn in some paperwork. And the folk, get what the folk did. They said, we was going to give you this amount, and we see it was a mistake. I was like, Lord, they finna take all my money. Baby, they gave me $500 or $600 more. I said, well, look at God. And it came what? Right on time. So I ain't get it when y'all got it in February. Some folk got the income tax, they were broke before January went out. Broke, Lord. I got my income tax broke. All right. So what I'm saying is, God say, listen, I'm giving you money and you putting it in your bag, but it got holes in it. Now the question is, some of your stress is because you need to plug up some of them holes. Because it makes no sense for us to work all of our lives, and here's what we got to get, Zion, as African American people. There comes when you do work for money. What we do, we go to work and before don't give us no check. We ain't going back, of course. I'm telling you, I mean, if they fire us, the first thing we're going to say, we want our check. And we'll turn it out. But there should come a time in your life that your priorities are in such, watch this, that you no longer work for money, you let money work for you. That was good to me. Y'all ain't got to say that. Y'all ain't got to say that. In other words, I keep on telling people, rich folk don't worry about money. Because they making money when they sleep. They don't even get up and go to work. Because they're rich. Well, they wealthy. All right, let me get to the second point. All right, what verse you stop there, Barbara? 6. All right, go ahead. Read 7, 8, 9. Well, read to 11. Go ahead.
Thus said the Lord of hosts, consider your way.
Consider your way.
Go up to the mountain and bring wood and build the house.
Watch this.
And I will take pleasure in it, and I will be glorified, said the Lord.
Yeah.
Ye looked for much, and lo, it came to little. And when ye brought it home, I did blow upon it. Why, said the Lord of hosts? Because of mine house that is waste, and ye run every man unto his own house. Therefore the heaven over you is stayed from dew, and the earth is stayed from her fruit. And I call for a drought upon the land.
Watch this.
And upon the mountains, and upon the corn, and upon the new wine, and upon the oil, and upon that which the ground bringeth forth, and upon men, and upon cattle, and upon all the labor of the hands. Then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, son of Josedek, the high priest, with all the remnant of the people, obeyed the voice of the Lord their God, and the word of Haggai the prophet, as the Lord their God had sent him, and the people did fear before the Lord.
All right, stop right there. I think right before you stop reading, it said, a remnant of the people did what?
Obeyed the voice of God. Some of them.
A remnant. What does that say to y'all tonight?
Yeah, not all the people, just some of it.
It wasn't some, a remnant.
The remnant, yeah. Yep. Was yeah.
But then it says, a remnant obeyed and God did what?
He heard their voice.
He heard. The whole thing is, it does not take 1,000 folk. It takes folk that can hear God, recognize his voice, and follow the command. But we say we have faith. Oh, yeah, the Bible said we have faith to bring the size of something. Well, okay then, what else? But our actions say different. Y'all missed it. JR got faith in me because I have proven time and time again that I can deliver. Okay, y'all missed it. I told y'all about the glasses. The folks said we ain't playing for no more glasses. I said, oh yeah, yes you are. No, we not. Well, who I need to talk to? Cause my baby needs some glasses. And he needs something that's going to fit his face right, not sitting on his face like he's 50 years old. That's how our glass will fit. I said, no, we got to do something about that. And he looking on top. I said, don't let that man walk around with no glasses like that. All right? So listen, the lady said, well, sir, well, we don't do that once we don't. I said, well, honey, let me what's your name, ma'am? She said, my name, I forgot what she said her name. Well, I don't remember. I said, well, I'm Jeff Thompson. I said, you don't know me, but I'm somebody. She said, you are? I mean, are you a CEO or anything? I said, no, I'm not a CEO or anything. I said, I'm God's child. And I said, I believe I can have whatever he say I can have. And I said, I need you to work this situation out. She said, well, let me talk to my supervisor. I said, no, you don't have to talk to the supervisor. I said, let me talk to the supervisor. No, well, sir, guess what? Guess what we're going to do? What I'll do, I'll call the doctor's office right now. I said, call right now because my wife in there. She put me on hold. She called. Carrot gonna send a text message. I'm so embarrassed. What you embarrassed for? You done got blessed. And JR in the background, my daddy done did it again. Cause guess what? I ain't gotta accept what they say. I'm God's child. All right. Let me move on. The second thing is, let me finish up. I believe that God uses stress sometimes to draw us to Him. Because sometimes we can get so far away. God said, now I got to reel them back in and let them know what they doing ain't on their own power. And because stuff popping off like they wanted to pop off, I gotta allow some things to happen. So I'm gonna allow this to happen in his life or her life to let them know that they are not in charge. Some stress happens because of us. Because of some things that we have done. And our relationship is not right with God. But see, what we try to do, we try to fix everybody else. When you ain't fixed yourself. How you gonna fix me and you ain't fixed? And this what for? Well, see, what you need to do is, no. And if I was you, no, because if you were me, you would be doing the same thing I'm doing. You ain't me. All right? And so I think God uses some stress to draw us to Him. All right? I thought about Jonah being in his circumstance, and he says, in my distress, I called to the Lord. And guess what he did? He answered me. He answered me. All right? And so not only do we need to call God uses stress to draw himself to him, but lastly, I think that God uses stress, watch this, to discipline us. Sometimes. Why do you say that? I got Bible to back that up. Solomon word to his son in Hebrews 12 says, the Hebrew writer says, my son, do not make light of the Lord's discipline, and do not lose heart when he rebukes you, because the Lord disciplines those he loves, and he punishes everyone he accepts as his son. Endure hardship as a discipline, because God is treating you as a son. You want some whoopings you need from God. If God ain't whooping you, you better check something. All right, the last thing is, and this is the bigger for me, I believe God uses stress sometimes to strengthen our faith. Think about that. God, I'm stressed out, but I'm strengthening. Everybody do not possess the same measure of faith. We understand that. But I believe sometimes God gives us some stress in our lives to increase our faith. This happened in this document in medical history. There was a couple that was married, I think, almost 65 years. A couple that was married 65 years, I think, in California, I think the document says. And the husband died. And the wife, was distraught because she depended on her husband to do this and do that, and he was the breadwinner and and all this kind of stuff. And she asked the family, she asked for a moment alone with her husband one last time before she left him. Put the children out, put her sisters and brothers out, put his sisters and brothers out, and she stayed in the room herself. And this is documented. This is a true story. She laid on her husband, and she died. Why? She grieved. But where was her faith? Where was her faith? Oh, her faith was in him. You can grieve yourself to death. All right. Any question? I'm done. Cause this ain't no shout hallelujah message. It's a self-evaluation message that we need to look at ourselves. In the comments, I'm done. I'm finished up early.
A lot of times, it pushes